Hiya! Welcome to Records Roundup number 68. And after the absolute epicness of Records Roundup 67, which was basically the Record Store Day special, hopefully we can get this one and subsequent Records Roundups down to a more sensible length of time. But I've still got plenty to show you today. There is a package of 3 records that said, according to Royal Mail's tracking, were coming today. And it still says it, as I checked only a few minutes ago, but according to the same tracking information at Royal Mail, the mailer is still in Edinburgh. So if it gets from Edinburgh to Chesterfield by this evening, I'll be absolutely amazed. But not to worry, I'll show you those records in Records Roundup 69, of course, which will be along very soon. There's probably been a bit of a gap between the last Records Roundup and this one, if my scheduling has gone all correct in my mind. So welcome back, thank you for joining me again. Let's get going. And the first thing I'll show you is this 7-inch single from Electronic Sound magazine, and it's Pet Shop Boys single. So Electronic Sound magazine, I've bought a few copies over the past few years. I don't subscribe to them regularly, but at times they, well, most months to be honest, although I think sometimes it's CDs rather than 7-inch singles, they'll bundle some sort of musical item, as I say, usually a 7-inch, with the magazine for a bit more of a higher price. And if it's an artist I'm particularly interested in, I will buy the magazine and 7-inch vinyl bundle. So I did, obviously, for Pet Shop Boys, being a big fan. By the time this video comes out, it'll be a few weeks removed from me having seen the Pet Shop Boys for the very first time. I'm sure I had a good time. I can't say for certain because I'm recording it before the fact. This is a live single, 3 tracks on it. Love Comes Quickly on side A, and then side B, Paninero, which segues into Always on My Mind. And all of these were taken from their performance, I think last year at the Royal Arena, Copenhagen, Denmark. So a look at the back there. So I do like it when there's these to collect from Electronic Sound magazine that are exclusive to purchasers of that mag. There was a Lieback one from a year or so back. Before that there was one about Factory Records, the magazine, so they bundled like a double EP in with that. And there's also a New Order single, but I bought that on the aftermarket, as that was before I even knew that the magazine existed. Here is the mag, by the way, decent. I've read it, the Pet Shop Boys article. It's basically kind of like an in-depth interview, but I enjoy it. A lot of information also about electronic artists who I've never heard of. Probably some stuff I'd really enjoy, other stuff not so much, but it's a decent read. It always is, even though I'm not a regular reader of it. I only get it when there's an artist, usually the cover artist, who I'm interested in. Interestingly, which I found out thanks to Electronic Sound, was that these 3 tracks are all taken from an upcoming Blu-ray release from Pet Shop Boys, which is basically their Dream World performance from Copenhagen. So this is kind of like a taster for that. I'll quickly show you the vinyl. I was about to say I must have got it open, but I think it was open anyway. It's on gold there. So there we go. Just a nice little thing that, and these become quite collectible pretty instantly. So if ever you see Electronic Sound and then they're offering some sort of bundle deal with some music, a single or a CD of an act you might be interested in, then I wouldn't hang about, because I think these do sell out quite quick. But there we go, the 3-track live single from Pet Shop Boys.
Maybe I didn't hold you. I was only lonely time. Guess I never told you. I'm so happy that you're mine. If I made you feel second best, I'm so sorry I was blind. But you are always on my mind. You are always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. So follow!
onto the albums now. First one here is a pickup from Juno Records. Once again, got to give Juno a lot of props for sending this out really quick. I think I saw it and ordered it at like nearly 6 o'clock in the evening, and it had come via first class post the next day. You can't complain really, can you? And that's their cheapest postage option as well. I always pick the cheapest postage for wherever I shop, you know, because I don't mind waiting for stuff. But Juno always just seem really prompt and competent at sending stuff out. This album will not be to everyone's taste, but it is to mine because I'm an unashamed fan of cheesy Eurodance from the 90s. And here is 24/7 featuring Stacey and Nance, I do believe, and I Want to Show You. So I got a 24/7 album, which I think would have been their second studio album. Ooh, a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe, I lose track. It was a music on vinyl reissue, as this one is. I didn't realise that they'd also brought this out. I'm not sure exactly when this was reissued, it'll say on screen. But as soon as I saw that it was in stock at Juno, I jumped on it. I think it was about £30. It's an edition of only 500, and mine apparently is number 337 according to the hype sticker. We'll get this open as it comes in one of these adhesive protectors, which, as you know, I'm not a big fan of, but it's just a music on vinyl thing. They always seem to do it. And we'll look at what colour the vinyl is. So I don't really know anything on here. I don't think this album did anything, if it even got an official UK release back in the mid-90s or whenever it was it came out. It's got an insert with lyrics and a nice photo on it. And the record itself is a nice translucent red, a bit of speckling on it there, which is probably some sort of manufacturing thing, for a bit more there. But I'm sure that won't affect play. Looking at it, it does seem quite dark on camera, but it often does. I've explained before why that tends to be the case. But yeah, another one for my Eurodance collection. I'd like Music on Vinyl to reissue their first album, which I think would have been the one that featured Captain Hollywood as opposed to Stacey and Nance, as that has like the big hits, or at least the big hits here in the UK on it. Anything Eurodance from that era I want anyway. Bear with me while I get this back in the adhesive protector. Yeah, happy to have got that. I've actually pre-ordered something from the Music on Vinyl website itself, which I think seems to be based in the Netherlands. That's out, I think it's about mid-June, so possibly by the time you're watching this I would have received it, unless I'm getting my dates wrong. No, I think it is mid-June, and I've also got a 10% off code that I ought to use there at some point, but I'm just looking out for something that I really want from there. But that is 24/7 I Want to Show You.
And I mean that you gotta stop jerking. Take the chance right now that you can. Try to build up a master plan. No insurance and no guarantee, but that's more than wait and see. Hey baby, take it baby. Up to you if you wanna go crazy. It's a waste of time to keep waiting. And when you wake up, time is late. Get it on, get it going on. And you gotta be tough, you gotta be strong. Better learn before you start crying. Keep on trying.
Keep on trying. When you try and believe, maybe then you will be what you want it to be. Keep on trying with your heart and your soul. There is only one way to get to your goal.
Next up is an impulse purchase that I made from Tallbird Records. So I was able to get into Tallbird, my local record shop in the town centre of Chesterfield, fairly recently, and there wasn't much that I wanted there. No new releases or new vinyl, because chances are anything that I saw that I like, I would have pre-ordered it or purchased it elsewhere beforehand. But I had a look in the second-hand section. I was looking for new order stuff, but by that point I'd got a lot of the new order 7 and 12-inch singles that I needed anyway. But then I came across this in the world music section for £10, and two reasons why I took a punt on it. I mean, the first reason will be pretty obvious as soon as you see the title of it, but it's a compilation that's called the Indie Pop Compilation Album. I'll just take it out of this protector that Tallbird provided, so that there's a little less glare. I thought I'd take a punt on this. $9.99. It's an original issue. I think it came out in 1982. It's basically what it says on the front, really. It's a compilation of pop music from, you know, presumably the early 80s, maybe going back to the late 70s. I honestly don't know. With kind of like an Indian flavour. Now, I've mentioned this before from time to time on certain videos. I'm a massive fan of Indian pop music, Bhangra, essentially. Now then, I think this maybe predates Bhangra a little bit. I think Bhangra is more kind of Indian dance pop, which probably would have come along sort of in the mid to late 80s. Certainly I started hearing it on local radio in the late 80s. Yeah, I thought for a tenner, I didn't want to leave Tallbird empty-handed. I had a nice chat with Maria, who runs Tallbird. I was there with my friend, who I'd not seen since before lockdown, so we were having a nice catch-up in Chesterfield as well. But another reason that this intrigued me, it's on Virgin Records, but you probably can't see it particularly well, but if you look at the bottom left of the back sleeve, the photography and the design is by Trevor Key and Peter Saville and Martin Atkins as well. So this is kind of like a Peter Saville cover. Peter Saville, obviously fans of Factory Records, Joy Division, New Order, and also other acts who aren't associated as much with Factory, such as OMD and Suede, will know who Peter Saville is. You know, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest graphic designer this country ever produced. So it was just kind of nice to get something that was Peter Saville related, but I would have picked it up anyway. It's a nice sleeve, that. Nice condition. Quick look at the vinyl. That's probably the original inner, but it's plain. I've not listened to this. It being from Tallbird, I've no doubt that it's been cleaned and it's been play tested and all the rest of it. Not something I was expecting to pick up, but I'm really pleased to have found this. Didn't know it existed. I just looked in their world music section, and it was ironic really, because I remember the last time I spoke to Maria in Tallbird, I was saying to her, do you ever get any Bhangra in by any chance? Which I kind of knew she'd say no, not really. But she got this in, which I don't know if it's going to be Bhangra as such. It will probably be quite eclectic really, but sort of leaning towards the mainstream sort of 80s new wavy synth pop, but with that sort of Indian subcontinent twist. But yeah, really, really happy to have got the indie pop compilation album from my local record store, Tallbird.
It's on the mirror on your mind. It tells you right from wrong. I'm the one who whispers oh so sadly. The mirror tells the storybook of your mind's eye. It shows. Lately it shows. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Next up are two purchases I made from Dig In Records. Now, it's quite confusing when you watch me because I mention the word dig a lot because there's three websites I use. One of them kind of occasionally, but the other two I have been using them a little more regularly recently. There's Dig In Records, there's Dig Vinyl, and there's also Dig Music, which basically used to be the online store for Rhino Records, a subsidiary of Warner Music. Anyway, these are from Dig In. One of them I got because it kind of fits my New Order collection, because there's one New Order track on it and all the rest I'm not really interested in, but you know, I've listened to it because I always listen to a whole album no matter who it is. And the other thing is an album that I've been threatening to get for a long time now, and it was on sale at Dig In, so I thought finally I'm going to take the punt. The first one is the compilation that features New Order, and it is the War Child Hope compilation. This originally came out, it would have been, says on screen, I don't know why I'm trying to think really, but it got reissued on vinyl in 2022. This one is on yellow vinyl and it is a 2 LP set as well. And it's basically the only place that got an official release for the cover of Jimmy Cliff's Vietnam by New Order. Great song originally by Jimmy Cliff and a really good cover by New Order, but they've not put it out, and I'm doubting myself now, but I'm 99.9% certain that it never came out on anything else, any other more specific New Order compilation or anything. So to basically own that song physically was to get this album, and I'm glad I did, because this was $9.99, brand new and sealed. It had a big discount on it. Other stuff on here, it's very eclectic who's on it. Travis, Avril Lavigne, Paul McCartney, David Bowie, George Michael, so you've got some big hitters there, and also Avril Lavigne. Ronan Keating, Beverly Knight, Moby, and then New Order Vietnam is the last track on side B. And on side C, Basement Jaxx, Spiritualized, The Charlatans, Beth Orton, Tom McRae, Billy Bragg, and Yusuf Islam, of course, Cat Stevens, and he does a version which I think might be a live version of his 1970s hit Peace Train. Let's get this open so I can show you one of the discs. Well, I got it for the New Order track and nothing else really, and that's why I didn't mind paying for an album, for a compilation album that overall I might not enjoy. I'm sure I will, to be honest, but you know, down to a tenner for a 2 LP set. And you know, War Child, charity record, whether it being a fairly old release, a couple of years for this edition, even older originally, whether you know, they still get any benefit from people buying this. Hopefully they do. There's your inner for what will presumably be disc 1. That's really nice actually, just a solid sun yellow, I would call it. Yeah, great stuff there. Anything that's new and you get 2 discs worth, particularly for a tenner, is certainly worth a punt. Mixture of like cover versions and live tracks and maybe a bit of original stuff on here. Never owned a War Child album before. There's a few that have come out over the years, but this one, as soon as I remembered about Vietnam by New Order and what a great song it is, hopefully you'll see a bit in a moment, then I thought, yeah, I'll get this. Hope by various artists.
My time is up someday in June. Don't forget he said to tell my sweet, sweet Mary, my sweet Mary, her golden lips as sweet as cherries, and it came from Vietnam, 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 Vietnam.
And the second album from Dig In Records is one that I know is the all-time favourite album of my good friend Martin Harris. Hi Martin, you get another shout out here. He knows what's coming instantly, and I said to him ages ago, I want to get that album. I know how much you love it. I love a single on it, certainly. In fact, there's a couple of singles on there that I'm a big fan of. And he said, yeah, you know how I feel about that record. Pick it up ASAP. Well, I was kind of waiting to see it on sale. I did see it on sale somewhere ages ago and I didn't get round to picking it up, but then saw it had a bit of money off. It was down to £20, but I think it was originally sort of 25, 26, so a little bit discounted, and it is a 2 LP set again, so good value I think for the Gold Experience by Prince. So this is a standard black vinyl reissue that came out a year or 2 back. It also had an RSD release in, I think it was 2022. Correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, I'm probably getting that wrong. I looked on Discogs to see if there was any of the RSD editions going cheap, because they were gold vinyl, and the European version was a different shade of gold to the US version. Go and see Martin's videos about Prince and his collection, and he'll show you the differences. There was actually one seller in America who was selling the US Record Store Day issue, and the postage they were charging was something like $4, and and I nearly took a punt on it because I thought, well, surely that's a mistake, and if it is a mistake, then they'll get back to me and say, oh, we shouldn't set the postage of that so low, because the actual price of the record, I think they only charge about $30. But ultimately, I thought, no, I'm going to play it safer, just get the standard black edition from Dig In that was down to £20. You know, it's the album I want. You know, it's nice to get a limited edition, a coloured vinyl edition, of course, but I wanted the album because I've been threatening to buy this for ages. This, believe it or not, is the first Prince album I've ever owned. I used to own the single Gold on cassette back in the day. So me loving that track, one of the best singles of the 90s for me, even predates me starting to collect CDs. Other singles on here, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, which came out in '94 and was Prince's only #1 here in the UK. I think I Hate You may have been a single as well. I'm not familiar with the rest of the album, only the singles. Martin Harris loves it. He's a big Prince fan, so there's going to be a little bias there, but, you know, he could have picked something else as his all-time favourite album. It's not just his all-time favourite Prince one, it's the one he likes above everything else that's ever been recorded. So that's a good enough recommendation for me. Just looking at the hype sticker there. Yeah, his classic 1995 album, and his first as the love symbol there. So Prince and the Gold Experience from Dig In Records.
There's an ocean of despair. There are people living there. They're unhappy, and each and every day. But hell is not fashion, so what you trying to say? Everybody wants to sell what's already been sold. Everybody wants to tell what's already been told. What's the use of money if you ain't gonna break the mold? Even at the center of the fire, there is cold. All that glitters ain't gold.
On to a pickup from the Polydor record store. So over the last bank holiday weekend, they had a bit of a sale going on. Basically, put this code in, you get 20% off anything that's in stock. I looked on their The Who section, just thinking there's something on there that's supposedly available for pre-order, even though it's quite an old album now. I wonder if I can get a discount on that, because the price was good anyway. For a 2LP edition, it was $15.99 at Polydor, and then with 20% off, £3.20. The code did work. It said back in stock December, but I thought, well, that's fine actually. You know, I've got it for a good price. If I have to wait till the end of the year for it to finally be back in stock, fine. But I think it's just a case of them not having updated their website and their information, because it came like within a couple of days, so they have got it in stock. So if you want this yourself and you go on there and it says to pre-order and it won't be back in stock till December, then ignore that, because at least for me there was certainly some copies in their warehouse. I'm talking about this BBC Sessions album by The Who. I do like BBC Sessions albums, you know, the Beatles live at the BBC, the Joy Division New Order Peel Sessions, etc. I've got a Lars BBC Sessions album. I think there's a Rolling Stones one out that I haven't got, but I wouldn't mind picking that up if I saw it on sale somewhere. So what, with a discount, it's like £12 something and then a bit more in postage. I thought that was a really good buy. I think this originally came out in 2000, and according to the Discogs database, it's not had a reissue, so I'm presuming this is actually a 24-year-old record, but it's new and sealed. Look at the back there, black vinyl again. Yeah, just a nice compilation to have that wasn't a lot of money really. Not an essential part of the Who collection. I'm still missing a certain couple of studio albums of theirs, but I'm keeping fingers crossed for reissues at certain points. So there we go, that is The Who BBC Sessions.
I say come and go, story travels on. The only quiet place is inside your soul. From tree to tree, from you to me, traveling twice as fast as on any freeway.
Next up, a pickup from Discogs, another one from the New Order collection. You might be thinking, well, he's been making a lot of New Order related videos recently, why doesn't he just do like another one of those? But there's not quite enough here to warrant there being another New Order related record video. But there is this that I got from Discogs, and it is the 1981-82 LP. Ooh, are you seeing double? My finger can point in the right place. I've had the poster behind me on pretty much every video that I've made on this channel for many years now. So yeah, just another one for the New Order singles collection really, but I wanted this one in particular because this is, I think, a Record Store Day Black Friday release from 2014. Now the prices for this on Discogs, and I couldn't find any of these particular editions on eBay, but on Discogs they were quite high, apart from one seller who was asking £30, and then I think postage was something like £7 or £7.50. So I thought, it's a little high. I can get an original pressing or thereabouts for a lot cheaper, but I like a special edition, don't I? I'll open it and show you why it's a special edition. I think some of these should have come with a hype sticker. This one didn't, but that doesn't matter. I do have this already, actually. I've got a CD single, or CD EP, that came out, I don't know when that came out, but I know I've got it, and it was an import. I mean, basically, this originally came out in 1982 for the American market, and it also got released in certain parts of Europe and Canada, but until this Black Friday for Record Store Day, 10 years ago nearly, it never really had an official UK release. Hopefully it's the right one. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Yeah, it is. Clear vinyl. And we've got Everything's Gone Green, Procession and Mesh on side 1, and on side 2, Temptation and Hurts. All tracks I've got over multiple formats, many times over, but it's a collector's piece. Really pleased to have got that from this seller, especially as everywhere else seems to be asking quite a lot for it, which I understand to an extent, as it is nearly 10 years old now. I think there's only a limited amount of copies sold in Europe and in the UK, and I think America had this for Black Friday as well, and it was a slightly different kind of disc. It was still clear, I think, but perhaps a more dirty clear, you know, muddy kind of transparent vinyl. But anyway, really happy that I got this, the 1981-82 EP from New Order.
It's a problem, you know, that's been there all your life. Tries to make you see the world without you, that just turned black and white. At night it gets cold and really like to turn away and escape. That fails, makes the wounds of time won't heal.
Two pickups now from a site I've only used once previously, and I mentioned them and showed what I bought from them on, I think it was the second New Order and related records video that I put out, which would have come out sort of late May. So I thought I'd give them another go because I was pleased with what I got from there the first time. It's a site called Vinyl on the Net. I think they're based up in Newcastle. I thought there might be a bricks and mortar store, but it's not. It's just mail order. Bit of a weird way of shopping there, but it's perfectly safe and legitimate. I've used them twice now, so I can attest to that. For a little more information about it, go and see that New Order and related video in my music unboxings playlist. But first thing I'll show you, I've not put anything up on screen information wise for this because there's just almost nothing to say about it, but it was £3. I nearly picked it up when I shopped there the first time actually, and I didn't, so I just thought I'd get it this time. And it's just a New Order interview picture disc, completely unofficial. I'm assuming side 1 and side 2 are exactly the same. They wouldn't necessarily be the same, but when I found this on Discogs, the runtime of side 1 and side 2 was exactly the same. An interview of Peter Hook, even though Well, it is Barney on that side, and then Hookie's on that side, so at least that side's accurate. But I'm assuming, and I've not played it yet, it is the same interview with Peter Hook on either side, as it lasts 12 minutes exactly, apparently. Yeah, I'll just get it out very temporarily, show you in a little less glary detail. All I can say about that's £3, so why not? But the other thing I got, because I didn't just want to buy that and nothing else from this seller, was an album that I've been threatening to buy for ages now, kind of similar to Prince and the Gold Experience, really. This one has never had a reissue, but apparently this copy at Vinyl on the Net was classed as excellent condition, both sleeve and vinyl, plus it had a bonus with it as well, which not all of these do. And it was, I think he was asking £7 for it, so yeah, I had to jump on it. And it is the debut album from The Farm, Spartacus. Really pleased to have got this, and the condition is excellent for an album that's, what, 33 years old now. No complaints whatsoever. And it is the edition that came with a limited remix EP as well, for that to be included, and it looks like the original inner is there as well, look. And the EP itself, the bonus EP, which not all editions of Spartacus came with, that's in a plain bag as well. I like The Farm a lot. I've got their second album on minidisc, Love See No Colour. I will get round to talking a little more about that on Minidisc Monday eventually. And I received a couple of Farm 7-inch singles from Jason Clow, Not Suitable for Mum, in some VCLT not too long ago either. So that kind of prompted me to hurry up and get this album, especially when I saw a copy that was in such nice nick with everything that was supposed to be there. So yeah, I'm delighted to have got this at £7 as well. Can't really complain. Yeah, there might have been cheaper editions on Discogs. I haven't looked at Spartacus on there for a while, but I thought, why not? From this seller, Vinyl on the Net, it's been very reliable. A lot of interesting stuff. If you're into punk and mod and ska and anything indie, then it's a site I think you'll find a lot of hidden gems there. I certainly have already, and hopefully I'll be shopping there again at some point. But there we go, Spartacus from Liverpool's own The Farm.
Spirits run to the walls, working that night. December 1914, cold, clear and bright. Country's borders were right outside. They joined together and decided not to fight. All together now. All together now. All together now. In no man's land, together, all together now, all together now, all together now, no man's land.
Final thing to show you today is a mail opening. This is a new release, although it's a reissue, but it's new out today, the day of me recording this. It's an exclusive to the website I bought it from, I think, because if you look for this in shops, you'll just see the reissue CD. I've got an older version of the CD, so I wanted this on vinyl. Once again, it's relating to my New Order collection. So with everything sort of vaguely New Ordery that I've shown today, I could have possibly eked out a separate video, but then there wouldn't have been very much to show you in this. So this is, and I think there's meant to be a freebie in here, which is going to be very small, so I'm trying to be really careful. There's some exchange labels and invoice type stuff. Ah yeah, there we go. So this is the debut album from Stephen Morris and Gillian Gilbert of New Order, aka The Other Two and You. First time out on vinyl since its original release back in 1993. As soon as I saw this was announced, I jumped on the pre-order, especially as all pre-orderers at the New Order site received this thing here, and it's a Fortune Teller Tasty Fish. I don't think I'm going to get this open, to be honest. It's one of those funny plastic fishers that kind of curl up, and that's meant to tell your fortune somehow. You'll have seen them around and about. It gives like sort of directions as to what each movement of the fish means. I mean, it'd be quite fun to maybe demonstrate it on the video, but I'm not, because I want this to sort of stay minty with the album, really. Yeah, glad to have got that. And as I say, the vinyl itself is a New Order store exclusive, I believe. If anyone wants to correct me on that, if I'm wrong, please do. But as far as I know, it's just the CD, which has got the same artwork as this record here, that you get in shops and other websites. But yeah, nothing much else to say about it. It is just black vinyl. Tasty Fish got a reissue, like a 12-inch vinyl reissue with a new remix of it from Gabe Guernsey for Record Store Day. I showed you that in the last Records Roundup. Love this album. I think it's a great album. Certainly the other two's best, although they never released two anyway. But really happy that I've got this on vinyl for the first time, the other two and you.
Someone like you, selfish it's true, all you can do. It's plain to see entirely you disagree. No sense of reason, think it's true. Why did you have to believe them? No sense of reason, do I have to do? There's no one else, you're deceiving.
And that is Records Roundup number 68, done and dusted. Lots of great stuff here. I hope and think that you will agree. I can't wait to get stuck into it all. Thank you all for watching this, and I want to say special thanks, as always, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now. Don't know what I'm going to start with. Doesn't matter. The backlog is sizable, as it often is anyway, but I've been getting down a lot of the previous backlog over the last few weeks anyway, and will continue to do so. And I hope that you will continue to join me for all my future records roundups and record collecting videos. Cheers everyone. See ya!